Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a rant, or as one of my friends likes to call them, a come to Jesus talk. Because, do you guys remember this little guy over here? Quinton Simon. Remember him? The 20-month-old that went missing a month ago? Because I'm afraid a lot of people are starting to forget or lose focus on that little boy. Now, I love you all. You're probably the greatest group on YouTube. No lie. And I don't think y'all are the ones that are forgetting, but hopefully by watching this video and giving it, a thumbs up, sharing it, commenting, whatever, it will get it out there in the algorithm enough that the people that need to see this video will see this video. And maybe it will help them refocus, because I am so frustrated and I'm so aggravated, and I don't have notes today. This is all going to be just kind of whatever comes to mind. I have certain pictures and video clips uploaded to show you, and that's kind of how I'm going to follow along with the story. But y'all, I'm so frustrated. So yesterday was kind of a busy day in true crime world, right? So, we've got the Delphi thing going on. There was a woman in Arkansas who was abducted, and I was working up a story for that. And then they had a press conference in the afternoon that her and her baby had been found, and they're no longer with us. And I had been writing up stuff for Little Dicky and Delphi. I had been working on a Quinton video, a Kylie video, a Debbie Collier video, all this stuff, right? And it was kind of like so much was happening that it was like, which one do I do? Which one do I do? And I ended up not doing any because I got just overwhelmed and frustrated with everything that's going on in this world, especially true crime world. And I think the tipping point was what happened yesterday in the Quinton Simon case. And that's why this is first up on the list today. This is all about this little precious 20-month-old boy who did nothing to no one to deserve to be missing and presumed no longer with us. He is as innocent can be in this situation. The family around him, not so much. This poor baby was let down by everyone. Well, not everyone, but the majority of people that should have been there for him. And just to really kind of remind you the gravity of what I'm talking about. So look at this little fellow over here, standing here, right? Cute as he can be. Now I'm going to do this. Now look at this. This is where he probably is now. Those people are out there Monday through Friday, all day long, digging through a landfill, looking for any bit or piece that might be there that used to be Quinton, that used to be that precious little guy. That little guy is not gonna look like that when they find him in there. Look what they're digging through. the size of it, the condition of it. This is probably where Quinton is. And we cannot forget that. While all of this stupid nonsense craziness is going on around his house, in this case, I think everyone has forgotten that this is what we're dealing with. A 20-month-old boy tossed away like trash in a landfill with trash. That's what this is about. We are supposed to be focused on Quinton, finding Quinton, bringing Quinton back to be laid to rest properly, not in a landfill. This is about getting justice for what happened to this little boy. That's what we're supposed to be focusing on. Not all of this other ridiculousness. This little boy. You know, on my channel, I like to focus on the victims and not glorify the perpetrators. This is the victim. Quinton Simon, who didn't even get to see his second birthday. Okay? Now, I do want to sidetrack just a little bit. It is Quinton related. But can I just say that his dad, Bubba, has had a hell of a month. And I ask that you guys keep Bubba in your prayers. He lost his son. He lost his mom. And he lost his dad all in the span of 4 weeks. Can you imagine? So Brett Buffington put on Twitter, yesterday, Quinton Simon's grandfather, Bubba Moss's dad, was hit and killed by a car, according to the sheriff's office in Burke County. Moss just lost his mom last week. The driver who hit the man left. Police are offering a reward for any help that leads to an arrest. Crash investigators believe that Moss Sr. had a flat tire and was walking back to his home when the crash happened. Anyone with information is asked to call the Burke County Sheriff's Office. So, he doesn't know for sure what happened to his son. You've got people digging through a landfill looking for his infant son. His mom dies, I'm not sure how. And then his dad is killed in a hit-and-run accident, and whoever is responsible, they're still out there being looked for. Nobody should have to go through this much trauma in such a short amount of time, but here we are, and Bubba is. So, give this man grace and let him grieve. Okay, let's not harass Bubba for, a video, a sound bite. Let Bubba grieve. He's got so much to grieve, and keep him in your prayers, please. I also have the press release about this from the Burke County Sheriff's Office. It says, for immediate release on November 2nd, 2022, to all media partners from Captain Jimmy, I can't read that, Wilds, and for Sheriff Alfonso Williams. The Burke County Sheriff's Office is assisting the Georgia State Patrol with a pedestrian fatality that occurred this morning on the 9900 block of Highway 23 between Claxton Road and Brigham Landing Road. When deputies arrived on scene this morning around 7:20 a.m., they found a deceased white male lying off the roadway. Preliminary investigation indicates the male was struck while in the roadway by an unknown vehicle. We are asking the public's assistance in identifying the deceased male and locating the person and vehicle responsible for striking the individual. And then they describe what he looked like physically, what he was wearing. It is believed the male was struck sometime between 5:30 a.m. and when he was discovered. Sheriff Williams is offering a reward for information that leads us to the individual responsible for the hit and run fatality. Callers may remain anonymous and call 706-554-2133 or reach out by Facebook Messenger on our Burke County Sheriff's Office page, or you can send an email to jwilds@bcso-ga.org. So the person has since been identified as Bubba's dad, but they still need to find the guy who was responsible for hitting him and killing him and leaving the scene. So that was just absolutely awful to hear that news. And like I said, prayers to Bubba and the rest of his family. But I mean, Quinton is with his grandparents now, at least, right? So I'm going to play this clip, kind of just to refresh everybody of what has happened and why we're here. So let me play that for you all.
30 days since 20-month-old Quinton Simon disappeared. The little boy's body is believed to be in a landfill.
The search for him is the most extensive in the history of the Chatham County Police Department.
We want justice for Quinton, just like everybody else.
This case, which started as a report of a kidnapping, is now a criminal investigation. Quinton's mother, Leilani Simon, who called 911 to report her son missing, is the only person police have named as a suspect. WSAV lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington joining us live from Quinton's neighborhood this evening. Tonight, he walks us through every step of this story since it started.
Ben, when we were standing here a month ago, this story was much different than it is today. Police were looking for a little boy who might have wandered away or was taken. That's much different than what they believe now. October 5th, 9:42 a.m.
5:35, roll call to roll.
That's when Quinton's mom told police the story.
Her 1-year-old son is missing.
Her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, went to work.
He is tan-skinned child.
Quinton was in a pack and play. Last seen at 6 a.m. The door was open. Quinton was gone.
Think someone came in and took him.
Leilani Simon, Quinton's mom, blamed Quinton's biological father, Bubba Moss. He lives 90 miles away in Girard, Georgia. His name listed as a suspect on the original police report. But police did not take long to decide that story was impossible.
We are working extremely hard to try to bring this to a resolution and find Quinton and bring him home safely.
While police searched this neighborhood for a little boy they believed wandered away, we learned a lot about Quinton's family. His mother and that boyfriend were being evicted. His grandmother and her husband had custody. Neither of them was home when Quinton disappeared, and Quinton's mom was about to start having to pay child support for Quinton and his brother.
We brought in experts.
Week 2 of the search took a terrible turn.
We're not searching the whole landfill.
Quinton's body is believed to be in this dump. There's evidence police say that proves it. Their theory is the little boy was tossed in a dumpster, thrown out like trash, and delivered in a trash truck here. Once this search in this landfill started, police stopped with their regular updates as we kept looking for answers, knocking on the Dunn, North Carolina address for boyfriend Daniel Youngkin just this week. That town, a place where Daniel Youngkin and Leilani Simon have been arrested before. But so far, in Quinton's case, now assigned this 11-digit number, no one has been charged with anything. Sadly today, police did acknowledge that they knew going into the landfill search that the likelihood of finding Quinton's remains were low. And any landfill search like that it's very improbable that they find the remains at the end of it. But those detectives added that they stay very dedicated to the search for this missing little boy. We are live in Southwest Chatham County tonight. I'm Brett Buffington, WSAV News 3 on your...
All right, I just realized I wanted to apologize. You can probably hear my washing machine and my dryer in the background. We're trying to get some stuff done. We've got somebody coming today to install fiber optic Wi-Fi, which is exciting. Okay, so now we're caught up to where we were and where we are. So let's get into what's really got me heated, what's got me so worked up. So this tweet says, protesters are screaming into an open window at Quinton Simon's home. The toddler's grandmother, Billy Joe, is sitting inside the window, apparently listening to the rant while also blasting Let It Go. It has been 27 days since the little boy was last seen. Now, I get it. I've said it in videos before. We all have a right to protest. We do. Peaceful protests are fine. I do feel bad for the neighbors that have to listen to this morning, noon, and night. And deal just with the general chaos that has taken over their neighborhood. I feel bad for them. And I guess the big question here is this helping us find him any faster? And the answer is no. You can stand out there and you can yell until the cows come home, and it's not going to speed this process up, unfortunately. Now, when Gabby Petito was missing, and I would see the protest going on down there, if I was close enough, I probably would have been one of them in the beginning that was standing out there yelling, "Where is Gabby?" I'm not going to lie. I probably would have. I may have even been one to put a laundry basket on the dirty laundry's lawn. I don't know. But I would have went and I would have said my piece and gone on and tried to do something more productive. But these people, and I get it, I'm frustrated too. And if I was in Georgia, maybe I would have gone and said something, because yeah, it does piss me off that there's no holding charge for Leilani, even though she's on double probation, and I'm sure they could get her on a probation violation and bring her in on something. But instead, she's out going to bars and just, you know, generally making an ass of herself and living her life while, you know, we've got these people out at the landfill looking for her child. Yeah, it pisses me off. But standing in front of her house yelling, you know, baby killer and things like that, it's not going to get her arrested faster. It's not going to bring Quinton back faster. I think the goal is they want Leilani arrested, and we all do. And I get that, because they say, you know, we're not leaving until she's arrested. Okay, that's fine, that's fair, but we need to keep things measured and under control. Now, in general, I think most of us YouTubers, the true crime community, we have good intentions. We do. You know, we want to help in some small way, even if it is just making a video to try to keep awareness out there about a case, to keep pressure on law enforcement when needed, not to quit, not to give up, things like that, you know. And a lot of people are like, you know, oh, it's for money, it's for clicks, it's for views. Clicks and views, yes, they are important. I am not a big channel. I don't know if I'll ever be a big channel. hopefully, maybe someday, but you know what? I'm happy with where I'm at. But, you know, we get a very tiny, tiny amount from ad revenue, from clicks and views. Minuscule amount. I don't do a lot of lives right now because I live in the middle of nowhere and my internet sucks. And today we're getting the fiber optic internet, and hopefully it will give me strong enough Wi-Fi that I don't have to worry about being cut off like midstream or, you know, dropping the signal or what have you. So when you give us, I'm just going to talk for me. If you give me a super chat, a super sticker, or when I'm not live, like this video, you give me a super thanks, or you donate to me on my Cash App or my PayPal or my Venmo or whatever, that money all goes back into creating content for my channel. It goes to pay for like my new Wi-Fi, my equipment. You know, we have to have microphones, cameras, lights, the computer. I mean, all kinds of stuff. The software that we use to build these videos. And we work hard. You can't just throw together a video. It takes hours, days, weeks, in the Brett Wolf case, months, to do the research, find clips that are important, find pictures that are relevant, to get you facts, you know, to not just throw out whatever, but to actually bring you factual information that we can back up with credible sources. You know, we pay for background checks on people. Sometimes we pay to get court records on people, just so we're confident that we're bringing you the truth, the best information we can. So there is an expense to being a YouTuber. So any contribution that you make is appreciated by, well, all of the creators that I know and I'm friends with. I know how much it's appreciated because we do just pour it right back into what we're doing. You know, we're not out here blowing money on stupid, frivolous stuff. It all goes back into the channel. And as for what we're going to get into later about what happened yesterday, I'm not out here to earn bail money. Okay? I'm never going to get rich by being a YouTuber. That's not why I'm here. It's not. And if you can't join a membership, if you can't make a donation to me, it's fine. I don't care. That's not why I'm here. You subscribing and you watching the videos, that's enough for me. It's more than enough. Clicking the thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, fantastic. Fantastic. But if you ever want to make a donation, just know that it's going right back into creating content for you. Okay. That being said, there are YouTubers at these protests. We all know it. We know who they are. And they're live streaming. Sometimes for 8-9 hours a day from the protests. And that's fine because that's their channel and that's what they do. And, you know, they're like, donate money to help fund my next project. And, you know, people are sending them like, you know, $50, $100, you know, all this stuff. Like, and that's not what it's about. You know, if you're really just there to document what's happening, fine. But they're not. They're actively participating. And I don't want to say instigating, like they're not necessarily starting anything, but you know, they're back and forth with Leilani and her mom. Because I've talked about it before, you know, Leilani and her mom, they're not doing anything to not engage. They're actively, I feel like, trying to stir up shit with the protesters. They're doing things like playing Let It Go out your window while they're yelling at you, dancing in the windows and things like that. They're doing things just to provoke the protesters. And the protesters need to not take the bait. But the protesters also need to not do anything to provoke them. Just go out there and state your purpose, hold your sign, justice for Quinton, whatever. But you don't need this provocation between the two sides. But I'm kind of getting off track. So let me show you just an example of some of these people that are out there protesting that I feel this isn't why you're there, right? Brett Buffington says it perfectly. There are no words. This is in front of the home where Quinton Simon lived. Got this picture this evening. There's a missing 20-month-old believed to be dead in a dump. And this guy is holding a sign that says, "Leilani, will you marry me?" Come on. What does this have to do with a little boy being missing and maybe in a landfill? How is this helping anything? How is this helping to bring him home? How is this helping to get Leilani arrested any faster? It's not. And it's sick. And this is what I mean about glorifying these offenders. That's what she wants. That's what she wants to see, is stuff like that. Don't give her what she wants. It makes me sick. So, just to kind of offset, we've got that, right? Marry me, outside of her house. And then we get a tweet from Chatham County Police saying, Chatham County Police called the landfill search for Quinton more grueling than anyone could imagine, acknowledging for the first time that many searches like this never recover the remains. Police say they remain committed to finding Quinton. They know they've got an uphill battle. They know it's not likely they're going to find anything, but they are going to keep looking. They're going to keep going out there and digging in this filth every single day to try to find any little piece of that baby boy to bring back. While you've got idiots standing outside their house saying, "Marry me, Leilani," and blasting music out of the house from his grandma. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. So this was the memorial in the yard for baby Quinton. And it's your typical thing, right? People are bringing candles and pictures and little trinkets and toys and balloons and things like that because they want to feel like they're doing something, like in some way, like paying tribute to this beautiful little boy that's gone. And, well, we're going to get there. Just keep this image in your mind, right? It's beautiful. It's very sweet, right? At the home where Quinton Simon lived, the memorial has been moved to behind the family's fence. The rope along the right-of-way is gone, and there are fish parts scattered where the protesters were standing yesterday. Well, before the fish parts came along, this beautiful little memorial, Leilani took cow manure out there and placed it around the pictures of Quinton, the pictures of Jesus, the candles, the toys, cow manure in the memorial. Y'all, think about it. Think about that. And then they moved it back behind the fence so nobody can get to it now. And this is a picture of what they scattered out there. It's a fish head. So, I mean, I guess effectively they've made their house smell like cow manure and fish, dead fish. But damn, like, what is wrong with these people? They're acting juvenile. You know, act like a freaking grown-up, especially Billy Joe, Jesus. So, on top of that, someone made a Amazon wish list for Billy Joe. Why this woman needs an Amazon wish list, I don't know. But she has one, and they've been sending her gifts. And I've heard some of the stuff is like things for like a children's bedroom. Those kids are gone, and they're probably not coming back. So she doesn't need that shit. But look at this. This is one of the gifts that she posted that she got. She got that ring over there, and then she got this really nice Bose speaker. You know how expensive those are? The hell? Why do you need to send her a Bose speaker and a ring? Huh? Her grandchild is missing. Her grandchild is missing. And probably dead in a landfill. And then she put this picture up showing off a ring that she got off of her wish list. And it looks like she's got her nails done. I mean, how nice for her, right? So, if all of that's not bad enough for you. And I mean, let's go back to the memorial for a minute. At this point, you know, they're going to take everything that everybody brought for Quinton and move it behind there, and nobody can access it anymore. I'm at the point, if I want to do something like that, I will donate a toy, like to Toys for Tots, in honor of Quinton, or to a needy family for Christmas, or something like that in Quinton's honor, before I would take anything to that house and leave it for those people to just take. Because it sounds awful, but it's the truth. Quinton's not coming back to play with those toys. But we could make some other child's life a little bit happier by donating a toy in his honor. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying run out and do it, but that's just my opinion. Then we get this. Outside Quinton Simon's house tonight, there's a disco ball, sharing the fence with a Bluetooth speaker. That's Can You Feel the Love Tonight playing. We watched Quinton's grandmother, Billy Joe Howell, leave just after our 5 o'clock live shot. Probably going to find more cow manure or fish parts, but here's the video for you guys. That's what I mean, guys. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary, inappropriate behavior. Why is that necessary? Why is that called for? It's not. And then this happened yesterday. And this was my tipping point.
Also new tonight, police and hecklers clash outside Quinton Simon's home.
And the Chatham County Police Chief says that these hecklers outside of Quinton's home have turned the case into, quoting him now, a money-making circus. Our Andy Cole joins us live now from outside the police headquarters. And Andy, you even talked to one of the hecklers tonight and asked him about the chief's comments.
Yeah, good evening, Greg. It's been more than a month since Quinton disappeared. Since, the story has gained national attention, but it's also brought in hecklers who police say make it impossible for the neighbors to live in peace. Tonight, a fifth protester arrested, all while the prime suspect remains free.
Quit holding our people hostage, or you let baby murderers run your street.
A heckler is in jail after a clash at the home where Quinton Simon was last seen. Jimmy Williams was charged with simple battery and disorderly conduct. His arrest marks the 5th heckler jailed over the last month. Chatham County Police say since October 12th, they've responded to the neighborhood 50 times. In a statement, Chatham County's police chief says, quote, many of the people claiming to want justice for Quinton have turned his tragic and heartbreaking case into a money-making circus. And they have made it impossible for the people who live in the area to enjoy the peace and tranquility of their homes. This is unacceptable and has to stop.
This is what I do all over the country.
Bullhorn Betty has been outside Quinton's home for weeks. She runs a YouTube channel and live streams her interactions daily. She calls Chief Jeff Hadley's statement lies.
When I see Billy Joe and Leilani, I ask them questions. Where's the baby? What did you do with the baby? Things like that in a professional capacity. Now, is it loud? Yes, because I'm across the street and they're at their gate. But I have not caused this. No other YouTubers have caused this. This is their community doing this, not us.
Chief Hadley said that over the next few days, police will unveil new measures to minimize the disruption to the surrounding neighbors. Bullhorn Betty, however, tells me she isn't going anywhere.
And I absolutely plan to come back to that house tomorrow because I will not be intimidated by some police chief.
What's going to stop you from coming back to that house?
There's nothing he can arrest me every single day that I'm out there. This is not about me. This is about Quinton.
Andy, some fiery words from both sides tonight. So what are the plans from the police to keep the noise down in that neighborhood?
Yeah, Greg, we reached out to police late tonight to learn more about those measures, but they declined to say what those were. Chief Hadley did mention in his statement that right here at police headquarters is a much safer place to protest than the streets of Buckhalter Road. Greg?
Andy Cole reporting live outside of the Chatham County Police headquarters. Thank you.
All right, so let me kind of walk you through yesterday. So at first I hear about this and I'm like, damn, I mean, you know, it, on one hand, it sucks, right? Like, here's some of the YouTubers that you probably recognize, and this was when they were in front of the house. So, you know, to me, like, the idea that a YouTuber got arrested and Leilani is still out there, it pissed me off. You know, there have been 4 or 5 other protesters arrested, and to know Leilani's their only suspect and they can't find some reason to bring her in, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. I'm by no means endorsing any of these YouTubers and what they're doing or whatever, but I mean, my opinion, like I said, you know, yes, would I protest? Absolutely. But if that's how I have to make my money, if I have to act like that to get clicks and views, that's not what we're doing on this channel. Why couldn't I go to this protest and not live stream it? I could come and tell you about it, or maybe I could take a little bit of a video of it, but why do I have to live stream it for 9 hours and make an ass out of myself to get clicks and views and money? They have a ton of followers, way more than I do, so maybe they know better than me. I don't know. Regardless, it irritated me. And then when they went to the sheriff's office where the guy was taken, you know, they're outside and there were, I want to say maybe 4 of them still live streaming outside there, and they're protesting out there, which you could kind of see a little bit up in that news clip. And to me, that makes sense, you know, because you're mad because the police haven't arrested Leilani, right? And one of them pulled her credit card out of, I guess, her bra and went in and wanted to bail him out, and I guess they didn't take credit cards, and so they're all outside and they're talking about, you know, oh, we can go to the ATM and whatever. I guess a bail bondswoman was watching it live streamed and shows up, and she ended up bailing him out, so he's out now. But I saw their side, the live streaming side, when that reporter was there, and Bullhorn Betty was telling him, like, don't you call me a heckler. I'm not a heckler. And saying, like, she's there in this professional capacity, and she kept showing, like, that she had press credentials and things like that. And I don't see the press acting like that, but I mean, that's fine. But they are kind of heckling, right? So I'm sure she wasn't happy with that, because as he was walking away, she kept saying, like, don't call me a heckler. And then that's exactly what they called them. One of the ones in the picture had made a statement about not wanting to go back to the house, that, like, basically there was nothing more she could do for that baby. No, we can keep fighting for justice for that baby. They were talking about being famous, being worldwide famous, and, like, having, like, paparazzi and people wanting selfies and autographs, and maybe they do. I mean, I have people that watch me from different parts of the world, but I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be worldwide famous. I would never say that about myself. I like to just come on here and then go on about my normal life. But I mean, they've really built themselves up, haven't they? Like I said, though, maybe they're doing something right, because their channels are a hell of a lot bigger than mine will probably ever be. But if that's how I have to get big and make money, I'll never be big. So they kept up with this narrative that, I don't even know if I want to use his name, the guy that got arrested was protecting them. That there was an incident with a lady, I guess she was there on the Quinton Simon's side of the house, like, I don't know, as a representative for his family or whatever, for Billy Joe or whoever, and they had a bullhorn, and Bullhorn Betty, of course, has her bullhorn, and she was up there, Bullhorn Betty, and she's blaring, it has, like, sound effects, like a siren. It sounded almost like a police siren or an ambulance siren or whatever, and she's blasting it at the lady, and the lady, I think, held hers up, and then the guy that gets arrested went around and kind of, I don't know if he, like, knocked it or yanked it out of her hand. Anyway, it looks like it broke, and she dropped some papers, but I didn't see her swinging it at anybody. I didn't see her trying to hit anybody with it, so I don't know what they were he was protecting people from. But I do know, and I haven't seen video of this, but they said that that person that he went around and had the confrontation with had drove their car, I don't know if it was towards the protesters or what, but almost hit 2 people, and they were allowed to just go. Like, there was nothing happened to that person, but the YouTuber got arrested. And if that person did go at people with their vehicle, they definitely should have been arrested as well, because, you know, you're endangering people's lives. What he did, was it right? No, probably not. Was he protecting them? I'm going to show you a clip of the video and you can make up your own mind. But he didn't put her life in any kind of danger. If you're driving your car at me, you're putting my life in danger. If you come up and knock something out of my hand and you don't even touch me, you didn't hurt me or put my life in danger. So it's such a big mess, right? And so you have all this chaos going on. Just look at us right now. What are we talking about? We're talking about YouTubers. We're talking about protesters. We're talking about bullshit. We're not talking about Quinton, are we? That's my point. That's what's pissing me off. So here's the video of him protecting. Make up your own mind.
Oh, Dolly's assaulting her! Oh!
Like I said, I like to put things out there for you guys so you can form your own opinions, because we don't always agree And that's fine, because we talk about it, and we don't have to agree on everything to be friends, do we? No. That's what keeps life interesting. So let me show you again, because it is a very quick clip.
Oh, Dolly's assaulting her! Oh!
Alright. I don't want to show any more than that, because these YouTubers may try to take me out, strike me, whatever, even though I am a very tiny channel compared to them. You just never know. So this is when he got arrested, when the police came. And again, you know, here, you know, we're focusing the police resources on this house. They said since the YouTubers showed up, they've had to go out there 50 times. Now, it's not fair to blame the YouTubers for that. I feel like the community would be out there whether the YouTubers are there or not. I don't feel like the YouTubers are out there being violent in any way to the other people. I know there has been some fighting and scuffling and things like that, and a lot of it happens after the YouTubers have left for the night. So to basically come out and blame the YouTubers for what's going on isn't entirely fair. Are there more people there because the YouTubers are there? Probably, because they do have fans, right? And, you know, they probably want a chance to be in their video or whatever. But I feel like if the YouTubers packed up and went home, those people are still going to be showing up at that house protesting. And there's still going to be fighting and bickering. And there's going to be the back and forth between Billy Joe and Leilani and the protesters, whether the YouTubers are there or not. That's just my opinion. But some of them may leave, but I know some of them are dedicated. They are staying there for the long haul, you know, and more power to them, because like I said, I mean, that's their thing and that's how they want to contribute. I just hope that they can keep themselves out of trouble. I know Bullhorn Betty was like, they can arrest me every day, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's not what we're here for. We're not getting involved in these cases to put the attention on ourselves, get ourselves arrested, and then spend all our YouTube money on bail. No, that's not what this is about. At least in my opinion, it's not what it should be about. So I want to put this picture up here kind of before I wrap it up. This is the landfill. This is 1 month after Quinton went missing. You can see the person sitting there, and they've got sifting boxes in front of them, and they're sifting through looking for fragments. They've got the flag up, and then next to them you see Quinton, his picture right there. These people have not forgotten Quinton. These people will not forget Quinton. They can't forget Quinton. And it's starting to feel like these people are the ones who care the most about Quinton. And it's sad. Because his mom and his grandma should care more about him and less about going out and partying at Tybee Island. His mom and his grandma should care more about him than what's being delivered today from their Amazon wish list. They should care enough about him to appreciate the fact that the community loves this boy enough to bring things to their house in memory of him. But they desecrate it with cow manure and fish heads and then move it away where the community can't even show that they care. They shouldn't be dancing in front of windows and blaring music with a disco ball. They should be focused on Quinton. Loving Quinton. If they had been focused on Quinton and loved Quinton all along, we wouldn't even be talking about this story. because he wouldn't be in a landfill if they had focused on Quinton and loved Quinton the way that he should have been. The protesters need to take a step back and refocus and remember they're not there to fight with Billy Joe and Leilani. They're not there to provoke them and cause mayhem and chaos and disrupt an entire neighborhood. They're there because they care, supposedly, about Quinton. This isn't about Leilani other than the fact that we want her arrested for what she did to Quinton. This isn't about Billy Joe. This isn't about Leilani. It's about Quinton. It's about finding what we can find of that little boy and laying him to rest like he deserves. This is about getting justice for what happened to this little boy. Everybody needs to refocus and remember, we all came into this because we cared what happened to this little boy. And then when the story took a turn, we cared about bringing this little boy home and punishing whoever did this to him. So yes, Leilani is a factor. Billy Joe is a factor in this story. And yes, we have to talk about them because they failed this little boy on so many levels. But at the heart of this story is Quinton. And we can't forget that. We can't let all these distractions, this circus, this chaos, make us forget that this is about Quinton. And that he might be there. We cannot lose sight of that. No matter what distractions come our way, what chaos gets thrown out, and every day there's something. Every day they pull something. Ooh, sorry, major feedback. But never forget about that little boy. Never forget about that little boy on your screen right now. Don't forget that little face. And when you share this, if you share this, and I hope you do, put hashtag justice for Quinton. Justice for Quinton Simon. Whatever. But keep his name out there. This is what we're fighting for, is this little boy. Look at that little face. Don't forget that little face. Don't forget that name. And don't get lost in the circus and the chaos. So I'm sorry that this was kind of a rant. I don't like to do that, but I've just had enough. I want us to remember what's important. So I'm going to get off here and go make my family a pot of chicken chili. I'm going to throw it on and let it cook all day. We've got storms coming in tonight, so I think a pot of chili is exactly what we need. And all of you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for spending part of it with me to listen about what I feel like is an injustice to little Quinton's memory. And let's make it right. So I love you all. Please like, share, subscribe, join the channel. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.